What's happening, everybody? This is Billy Nichols from Structure Gaming, and today we're going to take a look at Sega Online Rally Arcade. Before I go any further, I want to give props to the guys over at Triple Point PR for helping us out to do this little review. This is actually our first video review as a site. So, here we are with Sega Online Rally Arcade. You can see there's a few different single-player modes. We're going to be going over the single-player modes today. So we're just going to show you a couple races and show you what this game is all about. Now, before I go any further, I just want to talk a little bit about the history of this game. It started out on Sega Saturn as Sega Rally Arcade. It then came to the Xbox 360 as Sega Rally Revo and the Windows PC. I still love that game to death. And now today, here in 2011, we have an actual revision of that Sega Rally Revo. A little smaller, but for 800 points, this is worth your money. So this is actual gameplay footage of a race I just recently did with the Subaru WRX STI. As you can see, this is a very vibrant and bright and colorful game. One thing I really liked about this is that it characteristically went after the Sega Online Rally look. It kind of feels and looks like the older versions of the game. Now, obviously, it's not as many polygons and as many squares and non-sharp corners as the original, but taking a look at this game, you really feel as if you're playing an online rally arcade style game, as if you were sitting in a chair in an arcade popping quarters in, like the old days, in Crazy Taxi and things like that. Sega's always been great when it comes to things like this. Now, what I love about Sega racing games, they're not meant to be, you know, the serious racing game, your Forza Motorsport 3s, your Gran Turismo 5s. You know, I play this game on a day-to-day basis, and I feel as if I'm playing some old-school Automodelesta from back in the days of Xbox and PlayStation 2. A lot of fun to play, though. Now, one thing you can see is, and this is one thing that Sega really did that makes this stand out. Look at the back of my car right now, how dirty it is. As I'm coming around these corners, you can see more dirt start to cake up as you go towards the Subaru logo. Eventually, that Subaru logo is going to be gone. Unbelievable, though, like just how, for such a, you know, an arcade-style game, a non-realistic game, how beautifully that looks. And even when you go through water, it has a great look to it. Very clear, very crisp. I enjoyed playing this game mode a lot. This is the actual single-player quick race mode. I find this to be the most fun out of all the modes because you can jump right in and out of races. And unlike championship mode, you don't start in 22nd or 23rd place. I'll get to championship mode a little later. Let's just watch the end of this race as we've only got a couple laps to go. Now, for those of you who know me, you know I'm a big fan of racing games, and I'm very critical of these games. And so far, as you can tell, I'm really having an easy time with the controls. That's one thing, especially for beginners. This is going to be a very easy game for you to pick up and play without a problem. The cool thing about that is that, you know, for returning race fans, it's not hard. You also have the ability to use the manual transmission modes, but you do have to meet, as you can see at the top, there is a time bar. You have to meet those time bars to stay in the race. Make sure you meet those time bars or you're going to have a problem. Let's just watch the end of this race now. We'll go from there. As you can see, the water cleaning off the car just a little bit. As you can see, my wonderful Subaru Rally car is taking that dirt once again like it's nothing. It's just kicking onto my car. Nom nom nom. Now, for those of you who haven't even just picked up a demo with this yet, I highly suggest, you know, checking out the demo. It gives you a 2-lap race, and it gives you a couple cars to choose from. There's some great cars in this game to choose from, I promise you that. You have the Subaru Rally STI, you have the Evolution X Lancer, a couple other things. But let's go on to the next game mode and hear the guys sing game over, yeah! Alright, back to the menu we go. This is the one problem. You can't actually kick into another game mode right from this. You have to go all the way back to the main menu. I think this might be one of the only flaws I've really dealt with the game that I really don't like. Now let's go back into single player. We're going to go into the time attack mode. I'm sorry, no, we're going to go to the classic mode. We're going to see some of the classic cars. You have the old Toyota Celica, and I believe I can't remember the name of the other car now that I think of it. I'm sorry. This is terrible that in the middle of a review I'm going completely blank on a car. But let's take a poke at this race. This is your classic rally car race with the Toyota Celica, which is an absolute animal of a car in this game. It's a lot of fun. You know, this is a very fun mode, too, for those of you who enjoy classic rally. And well, the only problem I have with this is that we're not seeing more classic rally cars. I mean, you know, this isn't meant to be a Dirt 3 or anything, but the fact of the matter is I think a couple more cars would have, you know, been a benefit for this game. As you can see, I'm getting smoked right now. Totally smoked. But, you know, whatever. you know, not every race can always be the best. This is the first time actually I used the manual transmission mode, which if you're playing on the Xbox 360 can be a little difficult. I find it hard to play with a standard Xbox 360 controller. There is an aftermarket controller made by the guys over at Razer called an OZNA, I think it is, an OZNA. I have it, ONZA, excuse me. We actually did a review of this on SFX 360. It's a fantastic controller. There's 2 programmable buttons, and it kind of triggers like a PlayStation 3, so you have dual sticks, or I'm sorry, dual bumper buttons instead of just single bumper buttons at the top, which is fantastic, because you can have that extra piece ready for you, or I'm sorry, that extra button there for you in case of a situation like this where you're going to need it. Now, as you can see, I'm finally making headway as I learn how to use this manual transmission in this. To say the least, I used to own a 2000 Celica GTS, and I blew the clutch the first day I got it. Not to mention the car had 89,000 miles on it and probably needed a new clutch anyway, but, you know, I tend to stay away from clutch. Maybe in a racing game I'll play with a clutch, but in this game, this is the first time I used it. I found it a little difficult to use because I find that there's times when you downshift and upshift that you're seeing, you know, a decrease in speed when, or I'm sorry, an overly high decrease in speed, almost as it was too much. Like going from 4th, notice how I dropped to 115 miles, but then I went back up. Now, I'm going to shift again in just a second here, and you'll see that I go all the way down on that corner. Now, that corner took me down drastically, and I didn't even hit the brakes. I found that to be a little bit of an annoyance, but, you know, this could be your race right here. This could be it. You could totally screw the race up. You know, you could blow the race out the door. It is a little bit of an advantage for the inexperienced drivers who are used to using the manual controls, but get used to it. You'll get there, I promise you. I actually got the hang of it midway through this race. As you can see here, ready, I'll take this corner just fine, but I hit the wall, so of course I dropped a lot of speed. You know, the car drops the momentum that it needs for this, you know, time of the race, and, well, with my luck, it didn't work. The other thing I noticed, too, is there's no way you can flip these cars. I've tried everything to flip one of these cars to see. Now, that would be one thing that would be a lot of fun. All of a sudden, you just, you know, you're coming around a corner and you go too fast and you flip the car. Obviously, though, there's no, you know, way to mod these cars, so you don't have the ability to change parts in and out. So maybe that's a little bit of an unrealistic thought. Maybe I'm just, you know, coming over this a little too much, but I won that race. Hooray for me. Let's hear our new friend Herbie Hancock sing, "Game over, yeah!" There's my really fast times. I love when he does that. It's always funny. All right, back to the main menu we go. Dun, dun, dun. Here we are, saving content. We do not turn off our consoles. All right, we're going to check out the single-player mode once again. We are going to go into the time attack mode. This is my favorite. This is my absolute favorite. The heck with quick race. I really like time attack because you can see all the folks on Xbox Live who are playing this game. Unfortunately, when we did the review for this game, there was nobody on Xbox Live, so this is why it's not included in the review. But you're going to see me now race against an opponent, a staff ghost from Sega. And I'm going to stomp him into the ground. And you know what? I don't know who you are, Sega staff ghost, but I challenge you to another race. Let's do this. My gamer tag is SFX Quicksilver. Arrgh. Alright, so here we are back in the jungle, and I am racing the Evolution Lancer X. This is actually a pretty cool car. I like this car. In real life, these are a great car, too. You see these a lot on the road. All the Fast and the Furious kids who think they're cool have these cars, and then all the rich kids who want to put them on a sports car with four-wheel drive, but don't want to spend $90 million have this car. So here I am, getting stomped. Coming around the corner, taking a little tighter than him. Ready, I'm going to jump. Here we go. Whee! Up. So, again, let's get back to the driving schematics of this game. I really like the way that this felt. For those of you who were in the Need for Speed back in the day, these controls are going to feel very good to you. Now, again, a controller that I use with this that I really like is the Razer DNR. Another thing that can really up your experience for this game, especially considering the grip you might have if you're using just a stock Xbox controller, is the Extend Play made by Xworks. I really like how that felt in my hands and how it gave me a better grip, and I didn't have to grip the controller so hard because I had something that was foam in between and actually was more comfortable for my hands. So I had a better ease of the race and I had a better feel of the race. Now, actually, in this race, I'm using the Extend Play. You can tell that my driving gets tighter, and in a lot of situations, well, not there it wasn't, but in a lot of situations, I do have the upper hand on the staff ghost. For the other races, I use the Razer X, whatever that controller is. I can't even remember the name of it. Why am I speaking of it? But I also can tighten the D-pads for that controller, or the joysticks for that controller, so, you know, for tighter handling and so forth, especially in Black Ops, stuff like that is cool. But for this natural instance, it was a very good feel. I really enjoyed the way the game played as I took around these corners and how it added to my experience. Overall, though, as you can tell, Jungle might be my favorite level because a lot of the stuff that was in this game, unfortunately I didn't have unlocked at the time. And I spent a lot of time on this level. I really like this level a lot. I enjoyed playing it. I enjoy this game. And anytime you guys want to get in a game with me, SFX Quicksilver right on Xbox Live, I'd be more than happy to play a game of Sega Online Rally Arcade with you. Anything Sega does, Crazy Taxi, any of that stuff, if you have it, you give me a shout and I will play with you. Okay, so here we are coming around the corner again. Gonna win this race like a boss. Now, one other thing I really should point out about this game is look at, again, let's go back to graphics for a second and the sound. The overall presentation of this game is fantastic, okay? The one thing I don't like is that this rally guy sometimes says maybe on the turns. I don't feel that that's needed. I feel that you should have a co-driver, kind of like in Dirt. Though it's an arcade game, rally races are regularly two drivers. You have your driver and your co-driver. So that's something that I think that could be beneficial to future versions of Sega Online Rally. But the overall look and feel of this game is beautiful. I like the color schemes used. I like how lush it looks. Even for a more cartoonish animated environment, this game really gives off a great feel. Now, we got one more race. Let's see where it is. And for some odd reason, we're going to a new logo for the YouTube. You can check us out here at youtube.com/structuregaming. You can also check out my personal YouTube at youtube.com/beantowngamer. But it looks like that's the end of our video. So, my name is Quicksilver, and thank you guys for tuning in. This has been a first look at Sega Online Rally Arcade.